Namaskar, I'm Vidha. I'm a senior disciple of renowned guru and Sangeet Natak Academy awardee Srimati Gitanjali Lalji of Jaipur Gharana. I will begin my recital by presenting an invocatory benediction in praise of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the one who holds the river Ganga in his hair locks. The moon and the stars are his hair ornaments, serpents around his neck. His consort is Parvati. This item is set in Raga Megh in the time cycle of 10 beats, Japtal, musically composed by Guru Srimati Gitanjali Lalji and choreographed by myself. The verses of this item have been taken from Shivashtikam, presenting Shivashtikam. Namaskar, I'm Vidha. I'm a senior disciple of renowned guru and Sangeet Natak Academy awardee Srimati Gitanjali Laji of Jaipur, Gharan. This is the time cycle of 14 beats Dhamar, where I'll be presenting the technical aspect of Kathak in the Jaipur style, the repertoire of Jaipur Kathak. This evening I'm accompanied on tabla by Zuhair Ahmed Khan, on Pakhavach Rishi Shankar Upadhyay, on vocal and harmonium Mohammad Nizam, and on sarangi Mudassir Khan. Tal Dhamar. Ahmed. हमारे ताल में तीन और अलग तालों का मिश्रण जो इस तिहाई को और भी खूबसूरत बना रहे हैं। ऋषि शंकर जी यहाँ से फरमाइश कर रहे हैं ऑफ बीट की लघु की एक तिहाई जिसमें ठेके के बोलों का इस्तेमाल किया गया है। My next item is an expression number on Meera. This is a Meera bhajan. It is composed in rag Bhim Palasi. It is a traditional bandish choreographed by myself, presenting Suno Re Dayal Mahari Arji. बड़ी जात बरसात में बड़ी जात सागर में बही जाते काल तो थारी मरी तो मारी हरे मारी हरे सुनो मेरा सुन लो सुन लो सुन लो मेरा करे प्रभु मेरा चरण मरे सुनो रे सुनो तुम सुनो रे दयाल सवाल जवाब जुगलबंदी
Was indeed a euphonic performance, ma'am. Your performance was so enticing that it magically lifted us upon a different world. Now, with your permission, our students would like to ask few questions, ma'am. Firstly, I would like to know when did you first decide or
First
you
of
want
all,
to pursue?
namaskar everyone. Thank you, Spit Mickey, and thank you, uh, Aapke College Co. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me. I'm so delighted to see such beautiful faces. Thank you so much. Yes, please go ahead, Ambika.
Yes, ma'am. Firstly, I would like to know when did you first decide you wanted to pursue dancing and how did you start a journey, ma'am?
Thank you so much, Ambika. Actually, I was born in a family where my parents and all my uncles were very, too much into studies. But somehow my father wanted his daughters to learn some Indian classical art form. So we are three sisters. My eldest sister started learning Kathak first, and then I also got through the National Institute of Kathak. At that time, I didn't know what is Kathak and what is classical art forms are. But of course, I had too much of inclination toward music and dance that I got really engrossed and involved into that art form. And at a very young age, I actually decided that this is what I would like to do entire my life. And I think this is what is going to give me my identity. So at the age of 16, I was a part of a professional group and I started performing abroad, like European countries, as a professional. So at a very young age, it was, I think it was destined and Kathak chose me. So it is not me who chose Kathak, Kathak chose me. I can say that.
Thank you, ma'am. That was truly interesting. Now, everybody have their own favorites, ma'am. Who's your favorite dancer and why, ma'am?
So, as a child, I've always looked up to my guru, Srimati Gitanjali Lalji, because I was in awe of her beauty and in awe of her dancing. So, I mean, those initial stages were only my guru. And when I started to learn more about this art form, my idol was Pandit Durga Lalji, जो हमारी ही फैमिली के आई मीन मैं उन्हीं की फैमिली की लिनेज को आगे फॉरवर्ड कर रही हूँ I'm a daughter-in-law of my guru, Shri Gitanjali as well. So, unka dance, his dancing was something because he's no more with us. And I've never seen him physically. I've always seen his videos. I've never met him. But in videos, the kind of dancing I get to see, I don't think that I've seen a male dancing like that. He had so much of power, so much of energy that that has inspired me a lot. And though he was a male dancer, but still the kind of energy he used to throw, this is what inspires me. And I always try to even if, I mean, I just try that even a pinch of his sweat can, just get onto me. And if I will be able to dance like him, I'll be really honored and blessed. I've been blessed.
Thank you, Mom. It was really interesting to know about your favorite dancer and also why. I'm sure it inspires us also. So now I would like to know how much do you think has changed in the Guru Sishya Parampara from when you learned and the present generation?
Okay, thank you, Janani Kalyan. So it's a very interesting question, and of course, the times have changed, and we all know that changing is a continuous process. Nothing is permanent. Everything is changing. So similarly, the thought process and the surroundings are also changing. If we consider and if we go back to the Gurukuls, if we talk about the Mahabharata time, of course, the Gurukuls in my time and the Guru Shishya Parampara in my time didn't exist. So definitely everything is changing. But when I was learning, I because see, the technology also plays a lot of role here, plays a lot of role positively as well as negatively. So, like, I had no distractions when I was learning this art form. I didn't have the mobile with me all the time, mama calling, papa calling, or I have to make some reels for Insta, or how many followers do I have. So these kind of distractions were not there. We were focused completely that what was required at that time. And of course, there was not too much of exposure to us. So for us, Guru was the ultimate power, the ultimate, we can say that Lord. So Guru ने जो कह दिया वो पत्थर की लकीर है. We were not allowed to even ask questions to our gurus. जो गुरु ने कहा बहुत सौम्य तरीके से we actually take it as a blessing or as a command from the guru, and we used to follow. But now, because there is so much of exposure, people have this Google Devta who keeps telling them and giving them sometimes positive and sometimes negative information. So they have a lot of questions. And nowadays, even if we have Guru Shishya Parampara, students keep asking many questions and they have lot of doubts about many things, and somehow it is difficult to make them understand or make them realize that this is how it used to be. Like for me, when my guru used to teach me about Krishna, so I never had doubts. I used to believe that what my guru is saying, that yes, Krishna was like that. Krishna used to wear that feather as a as a headgear, whatever, that turban and a more mukut, and he used to be flute, and he used to be going places and stealing butter. But now, if I teach this story to the young kids, then they have questions. That why would he go and steal his mother nails to give him the butter? Why can't they keep the butter in the fridge? Why they have to keep it outside? They have those questions. So that's why that Guru Shishya Parampara has become little difficult. And but I think that in my time, Guru Shishya Parampara somehow was very, very pure, because this is what Guru Shishya Parampara is all about. That you have to believe in your Guru blindly, because Guru is somebody who doesn't even show you the path, but teaches you how to walk on that path. But here, the Shishya has so many doubts that I don't think that Shishya will be able to walk. He'll always, that Shishya will always be in the dilemma that I can see that shortcut also. I'll post a 30-second reel, I'll be famous. Why I have to practice for 2 hours and get a 20 minutes performance? So of course, the times have changed, and I don't know what to say about it more.
That's so true and relatable, ma'am. For the next question, can we know what is that one dance choreography that you're so obsessed with that you're not able to get over that choreography?
So this choreography is done by my guru, and it is named as The Spirit. So in that choreography, she made all of us dressed like a flamenco dancer, but we all dance Kathak. And this choreography is like, it haunts me sometimes. Like, I'm still not over with that. It's so beautiful that the packaging was modern, but the performance the presentation, the kind of dancing you were doing was completely traditional. So this is what, I learned, that it is all about how you package it, because ultimately we are Kathak dancers. I only know Kathak. I cannot, climb onto those ropes and just hang on the stage and just do the split. I'm a Kathak dancer. I've learned only the art form very, very traditional way. So this is what she did, and for me, I think that is what fusion is all about. So fusion doesn't mean that you have to confuse the entire thing, and because she took the rag-based bandishe of Madmat Sarang, she took the time cycle of 10 beats. She made the drummer learn the pieces and play. So it was a beautiful and very unique choreography, which is very, very, very close to my heart.
Sure, your description makes us really want to see that piece of art, ma'am. So moving on, can you throw some light on opportunities one gets as a dancer in this generation?
The opportunities are plenty, even more than what we used to have. As I said before, that we didn't know much about things, and there was not lot many exposure, or how to say, that word spread was not there. People used to keep things within themselves, so they never used to tell you, or there were no WhatsApp forwarded messages. So now there are so many opportunities which we also know about, like if a student or a budding artist would like to pursue the career into this art form, they can, after completing their basic secondary schooling, they can apply for a bachelor's in dance, and then they can do their master's in dance, and then they can do their PhD in dance. And then they will be professor in any of the deemed university where they have performing arts. Secondly, there are so many other opportunities, like a dancer can get opportunity from ICCR, which is Indian Council for Cultural Relations, to teach abroad for 2 to 3 years, where that artist will be considered as a cultural ambassador and a diplomat. The artist travels on the white passport, and the expenses are, taken care of by the government of India. So we represent India in other countries where we get to teach the art form. So for 3 years you are there, and your salary would be tax-free money, and you earn in dollars. And there are so many other opportunities. Once you dive deep into the sea, you will get to know that there are so many pearls around, and then you can make it a beautiful necklace out of it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Those opportunities, I'm sure, would be really an eye opener for dancers in the audience.
There are many scholarship programs. Of course, Pickmake also. Pickmake also, helps many artists to learn this art form. And then there are scholarships, and there are many programs for the young and budding upcoming artists. Scholarship like Sahitya Kala Parishad is also, again, they support the artists. Scholarship for 2 years, fellowship programs. There are so many things. You just have to think about it, and you will get to know that there are so many opportunities available.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us a wide range of opportunity choices and paths. So now we heard something very interesting in your introduction, and we would like to hear something about it. So it is about what inspired you to do the 103 spins in 60 seconds Guinness World Record.
Yeah, many people do ask me about it. So actually, spinning has always been very near and close to my repertoire. I've been always very sharp in spinning. So this opportunity just came as a piece of cake in my platter, and I was asked to attempt this record. So initially I was a little skeptical, because I didn't want to portray Kathak into something else, because I had no idea what these channels are going to portray, how they are going to do. I was very skeptical. I kept saying no to them. So it was it was featured on Colors channel. So they made a show called Ab India Todega Guinness World Record. So there were many special records were made only for Asian and Indian and for India. So this was also uh, one of the categories. So after consulting my guru, and then she did give me that thumbs up and that green signal, I went. And to be very honest, I didn't do any extra practice for that because spinning was a part of my everyday riyas. And I'd always been very sharp in spinning. So I just went like as if I'm just there to do my practice, my everyday practice. And I had to do a face off with one of the other classical artists. So she made 93 and I did 103. So that's how I made Guinness World Record.
Still in awe, ma'am. Very inspiring. Now, moving on, can we know when is Srimati Vidha the happiest person on earth?
And when I'm busy with my shows and when I'm traveling, because this is my identity. Vidha means Kathak, and Kathak means Vidha. So when I'm on stage because I know during this pandemic what I missed. It was like people were running for oxygen, and dancing is my oxygen. I was running for it. I was looking for the opportunity everywhere, and I didn't want to dance in my room and just for this camera. So this is my oxygen, and this makes me feel the most happiest person on earth. So when I'm dancing, when I'm on stage, it makes me happy.
Inspiring, ma'am. So, since there are a lot of dancers in the crowd, what piece of advice would you like to give to the future and aspiring dancers, ma'am?
So I think nowadays all the aspiring dancers are very well read. They know many things about the art form. I would request them not to leave the traditionality of your art form just to gain 30 seconds fame. So if we all get united, we don't need any help because our art form itself is so dynamic that we don't need any other support to promote it. So this is what my advice to all of you, that if you want to be famous, just take your dance piece and post it on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, but don't uh, समझौता मत कीजिए आप please, because this is our roots, and if we are not going to believe in it, then nobody else is going to believe in it. So if you believe in it, please go promote it and just be loud about it and be proud of it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was some very important advice you gave us actually for the present generation. So in the videos we saw, actually we saw different kinds of music in a particular piece, and we saw variations in rhythms and everything. So we would like to know what kinds of music and literature are main in Kathak.
So Kathak, of course, in Kathak we use Hindustani vocal, Hindustani Padhatis, classical music. So within Hindustani, we do have little semi-classical touch as well, like we take thumaris, we do take kajaris, depending upon, because kajari, chaiti, these are the season-based singing items. So we are allowed to take this music as well, where the language is khadi boli, or something which is related to the northern part of India, the northern belt, as it reflects the northern India. So usually we try to take, as far as literature is concerned, literature can be anything, specifically Hindi or Sanskrit, which is our main language, spoken language in the northern India, and also which is close to Hindustani music as well. But like the repertoire of Kathak is, we begin with the invocation, then we go to the nritya aspect, which is the technical aspect where there is no story. Then we can move on to the abhinaya aspect, and at the end, just like Bharatnatyam, we also do Tillana or Tarana, Or we again come back to another Tal Nritya part where we can do some kind of Jugalbandi. So Jugalbandi means the question answer, which I performed in this video as well, where we do the Sawal Jawab, the question answer, the healthy competition between the tabla player and the Kathak artist. So the literature, like I'd been using mostly, uh, verses from Shivashtakam, Krishnashtakam, or Surya Ashtakam, even Padams also. We also do take Padams because they are all in Sanskrit, but they are not musically composed in Carnatic music. They are musically composed in Hindustani music. And for the Abhinaya, we do take Hindustani Chota Khayal or sometimes Tumri. So this is for the Abhinaya. Or sometimes, like I have performed Jaydev's Yahi Madhav, Khandita Naika once. So we are also allowed to take these verses, but depending that the music should be in Hindustani. And for Abhinaya, I've taken different poems. Like for this one, I was performing on Meera's Bhajan. We can perform Bhajan. Once I was performing on Raskhan's Savaiya. So in Hindi literature, we have different things like Padam, like Gad, and then we have Savaiya. So Savaiya has a meter. Like I will just recite it for you so you will understand what I mean. So this Savaiya is kind of a conversation of Radha to Krishna, where she is saying that Krishna, I really love you and I would like to become what you are. Like I would like to dress like you. I would like to go around with, your male friends, and I would like to graze the animals. But one thing I will not do is I will never let this Murli sit on my lips because she's there on your lips. And she's jealous of that Murli because she thinks that Murli is another woman in Krishna's life. So the verses are by Raskhan, poet Raskhan. मोर पखा सिर ऊपर राखी हूँ गुंज की माल गले पहरूंगी ओढ़ पीतांबर ले लकुटी बन गोधन ग्वाल न संग फेरूंगी भावत मोहे मेरो रसखान सो तेरे कहे सौ स्वांग धरूंगी या मुरली मुरलीधर की अधरा न धरी अधरा न धरूंगी. So these kind of poetries we do take, and then we musically compose it. Most of my compositions are musically composed by my guru Shrimati Gitanjali Raji, because she has learned the art of music, Hindustani music, from her father, Rajnikant Desai ji, and he was the disciple of Ustad Fayaz Khan Sahab of Agra Gharana. So she has undergone this, proper training of Hindustani music. So this is how we, choreograph the entire musical piece in dance.
Thank you for educating us about that, ma'am. And for the most important question I wanted to ask since the program began was, in the increase in pop culture interest and westernization in every field, what are your thoughts on ways to pass the art form, ma'am, to the next generation?
So I think like we've already reached the saturation, Ambika. Everything has a saturation, then it drops and go back to zero, like the time cycle. It starts from one, completes, and then come back to one. So we have we have done everything, screen at the background, aerial dancing, everything. Now it is going back to the traditionality. So this is what is going to pass on. This is what my visualization is, that the upcoming generation is going to be very, very, very traditional, even more traditional than us. This is what my visualization is. This is what I can see, that this is how. And like I've always stick to the traditional side of classical art form. I have never, promoted the fusion or the other side of classical art form, which is liked by the mass. But I always say classical dance is not for the mass; it's for the class. So we don't need that mass audience. We need less, but we need quality audience. So, and now we have the educated audience as well, to whom we just refer as rasikas. We cannot call mass audience as rasikas. They are not rasik. They enjoy. They are they are just getting entertained. We are not entertainers. We are educators as well. By performing these art forms, we are actually educating the audience in a way that, like we also talk about female feticide. We also, do the choreographies on current affairs. We also do the choreographies on how the past was and how the future is going to be like, the climate, save the climate, about corona as well. What is corona? And but like we were saying that don't save the water. Kalia Martanam was exactly the same story. It was all about save the water. What was Kalia? Kalia was just a figure to tell you that he was poisoning the water. Actually, the water was being poisoned by the people, not exactly Kalia, but that's a metaphor. So these are the stories which tells you so much, and we are the one who, give it to the next generation to, you know, pass it forward and forward. That's why these art forms are never going to die, never ever, because it is going like a wave, like a flow, like a river. It's going, and will come back again. It will become vaporized clouds, again rain, and then again. That cycle is going to be on and on or forever.
Sure, it was interesting to know your thoughts, ma'am. Surely class is always better than mass, ma'am.
Absolutely. And we all are
So,
classy.
yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. So, one quality about you which you like the most or which motivates you, ma'am?
One quality of mine is that I criticize myself the most. I am my biggest critics, and that keeps me motivated all the time because I'm always inspired by others, and I think that I'm still less than others. So I have to, be up to that level. So I keep practicing. I keep encouraging myself to, or motivating myself to be, to that level, and just keep going. I don't like to sit and just do nothing. I'm a workaholic. I always work. I keep on working all the time. That is the, you can say, my negatives. I have made my negatives as my positives. So when I'm angry, I just tie my ankle bells and, take out my anger on my tatkar. So that's how I make my tatkar very strong. Because when you're angry, you have a lot of energy, So what to do with that energy? So quickly, I just tie the ankle bells and I just pair patakna shuru karti hu. So that makes my footwork even more better.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was actually really interesting to know about you. And I'm sure all the dancers would want to imbibe that quality into themselves.
Yeah.
So, so for the next question, we have some curiosity actually. So in Bharatanatyam, we have different styles or banis according to the lineage we've learned. So is there any similar divisions in Kathak also, ma'am?
Yes, definitely, and it is still existing. I don't think Bani does exist. I mean, it doesn't exist in Bharatanatyam anymore, or maybe very little. But in Kathak, yes, we do have. We have four dance schools, or we call it gharana. So Jaipur gharana, Lucknow gharana, Banaras gharana, and Raigad gharana. So there are four schools, four gharanas, different gharanas depicting the different regions of India. And the gharana speciality is actually the gurus who made these beautiful compositions, different compositions, and these compositions were differently danced. That's why these gharanas were, distinct. Otherwise, the basic training, like the way you write ABCD, it's the same. It's just sometimes you write it cursive, sometimes it is capital, but when you say it, it is the same. A, B, C, D till Z, it is going to be the same. So similarly, the mnemonic syllables do get changed, at the advanced stage. But the initial stage is for everybody is same. But yes, we can't say that it doesn't have any impact. It does have, because Jaipur Gharana, as you can, I mean, I would like to take you all back to that era where, because, I mean, if I talk about the Kathak history, after the temple era, Kathak, these Mughals invaded India, and they were the actually the lords who were keeping the artists alive. They were the ones who made these artists as sport dancers, and their livelihood was, being secured by them. So Kathak is the only classical art form which has Hindu and Muslim both the cultures. So in Kathak, when in if I talk about Jaipur, so Jaipur Maharajas or Rajas were all Rajput. They were all fighters. So they all used to like very fast kind of dancing. So the Jaipur style is a little bit faster, and the movements are more like, you can say Veer Ras Pradhan, where we have those kind of movements, lot of chakkar, lot of footwork, the speed is really high. So this is what those Maharajas used to like to see or to watch. But if we see Lucknow Gharana was established by Nawab Wajid Ali Shah. He was himself an artist. He used to write poetries, he used to write many things. He was very soft-hearted person. He never has gone out for the war or anything. So he was a very simple and art lover. So that reflects in Lucknow Gharana, that Lucknow Gharana has that lyricality of dancing. It is more lyrical, it is more, it's not that fast, but it pays a lot of attention to the movements, cursive movements. Similarly, so these are the, different features of different Gharanas. And I really pay a lot of respect to all the gurus who've done lots and lots of work to establish these gharanas with their beautiful compositions, with their hard work. Because I know that era must have not been that easy for them. But just because of them, we are here, and we have been able to talk about this art form so proudly. And we can earn our bread and butter through this art form. So a lot of respect to all the artists, all the great gurus.
That's something everybody should know about or get educated about. Thank you for telling us about that. Moving on, do you think we should make the education of art forms mandatory in all educational institutions, ma'am? Your thoughts?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not because that I'm a classical dancer and I'm biased about it, but the first thing I would like to, even if they take my advice, classical art form is a personality development program altogether. They don't have to keep a personality development program separately. Classical artists, any artist you will meet, the kind of personality they develop, they imbibe only by learning the art form. And any artist, you will not see the artist fighting. So the school kids, those who fight and into some other kind of a mess, you will not find these kids fighting, or they'll have some kind of issues, psychological issues, or depression. Classical art form. See, I was learning dance when I was in school. I'm a topper in my 12th standard. I'm a gold medalist while I was doing my masters. So my dancing made my concentration level so high that I don't think that dance has ever made me feel that I'm less than anyone else. I think I'm better than others. So if a school children or a school kid gets to learn this art form, firstly they will get to know the mythological stories about our culture. This is our culture, because I feel sad when I talk to my young kids sometimes, and I just tell them, okay kids, I'm going to teach you Guru Vandana. So the verses are Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu. So one kid would raise the hand and say, teacher, Guruji, what is Brahma? Who is Brahma? I said, you don't know who is Brahma? No, it's okay, I will Google him. So this kind of answer I get. So the problem is that kids don't even know about our culture. So if we have this as a part of our curriculum, kids will get to know about our culture. They'll be more polite. They'll respect other human beings, other people, elders, because this is what we learn. The first thing, we touch Mother Earth. Instead of bowing in front of any human being, the first thing we do, we touch Mother Earth. So the kind of respect we pay to the nature. So see, these are the things which we have developed as an artist. So I'm sure that this is going to help every kid. I'm not saying that every kid should become a classical dancer, but this is kind of a personality development program which help every child to become a better human being. You will never see कि वॉर में जो मतलब लड़ाई हो रही है जो I don't want to name the terrorists but उसमें कोई classical artists है. Classical artists are very soft hearted people. They are very soft. They're all the time into music, all the time talking about nature, all the time talking about beauty, the positive side of the life, and they're full of positivity. So, these things are definitely going to help. And I wish that one day, जो हम बात कर रहे हैं वो ऐसा हो, every school will have classical music, classical dance, and classical instrument as a subject, proper subject.
Sorry, ma'am, that is something we should all acknowledge about it, ma'am. So, just out of curiosity, if not dance, what other profession would you choose, ma'am?
Okay. I would have been a fashion designer or a TV actress. Because as a child, I was exposed to all these genres. Because as a child, I was, how to say that, approved, Doordarshan approved artist for acting. I was All India Radio approved artist for voiceovers. I used to do voiceovers. I was doing voiceovers for cartoon films as well and documentaries. And I was doing many telefilms and television shows as a child artist. And when I was growing old, I wanted to design costumes and I wanted to be a fashion designer. But my parents said, no, you're doing very well in your dancing. Why you have to do designing course when you can do better here? So I don't know which path I would have chosen. I have no idea. But yes, something related to art.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was really interesting profession. And you were talking about fashion and designing costumes. And I think the next question comes in connection with that actually.
Okay.
So the costumes and gungrus of Kathak are actually really unique from the other art forms. So has the present costume evolved over time or has it been passed down in the unchanged tradition, ma'am?
It has evolved, definitely. It has evolved. Because, see, when we wear this lehenga chunni is actually depicts the Jaipur Gharana or the Jaipur side, because that is the basic attire of Rajasthan, where you see. And also in northern India, when there is some big festival is happening, females either wear sari or lehenga. So lehenga becomes more easy for an artist to dance because we have a lot of spinning. But yes, we don't get the same kind of material everywhere. Like in Bharatanatyam, you have that typical Kanjivaram silk sari which you have to wear. So that is the traditional costume. Unfortunately, there is nothing written or nothing has been decided by the gurus, because of course in Natya Shastra also it is not written that Bharatanatyam should be wearing only Kanjivaram sari. It is the gurus who have decided, right? So for us, gurus have not decided, because earlier Kathak dancers were only the male artists. Females were not supposed to do dance at all. So this dance form has come from the males to females. So we do have the description for the males, but not for the females, because females joined this art form when the Mughals came. So lehenga chunni also came in, very late. Our made that Angarkha came first, Angarkha costume, because Angarkha was introduced by the Mughals. Why we have Peshwa Angarkhas, or we have that fox and Anarkali costume, and that used to have this topi with the turra, which we don't wear it anymore. We don't dance with that because it is not practical anymore. Like we are not court dancers now. So of course it has evolved, it has changed, and then the kind of material and the sometimes the demand of that production or the lights or the kind of distance between the audience and the stage. So definitely it has evolved, and I think most of them do follow the traditional costumes. Sometimes people don't wear the dupatta, so I don't want to comment on that. That is their own choice. But yes, our traditional costume is like we have to have a veil. either a blouse or a kurti with the lehenga or a angarkha with the veil on top on our head. So जब हम ये अंगरखा style costume पहनते हैं which depicts the Mughal, so that costume we wear when we are doing only the nritya aspect, where we are not depicting any kind of a story or tarana, performing just the tarana. And if we are, I'm so sorry. If we are doing Radha or I'm doing Yashoda, so that doesn't look nice in that angarkha. So we try to change and we dress up in lehenga chunni and then bindi. With angarkha we don't wear bindi. But now, because when a solo performance is happening, so solo artist has this liberty of wearing the angarkha with the bindi and doing the invocation, and then removing the bindi and doing the nritya aspect. So that is, again, it has evolved, like, dances, they have evolved it, like, so that the sentiments of any people, any person are not being heard. And this is how it has been ongoing. And rest, I don't know. I don't want to comment on that. So that is not traditional if they don't follow the norms.
That was so kind of you to answer all those questions patiently, ma'am. Not for the script, but for real. I never thought this will be this much of interaction between us. And for the final question, ma'am, how was your experience with Spick McKay, and what was your most memorable moment in one of the event of Spick McKay, ma'am?
So my association with Spick McKay has been really long. I think in 2013, I was invited by Spick McKay to do WDs, workshop demonstrations, because at that time I was not Bismillah Khan Yuva Puraskar awardee. And I did many workshop demonstrations in most of the rural schools possible in India, where they didn't even have proper rooms. I was dancing, kids were throwing stones from outside because only few kids could watch the performance. And so from there to here, my journey has been really, I would say, very interesting, because through Spick McKay, as an artist, I also evolved a lot. I got to learn so much because my interaction with the kids made me think so many things about how to reach to that level. I mean, how to make them understand my art form. So I actually went down to their level to make them understand, because I'm an artist, I'm a dancer. I know this art form because I've been doing since ages. But these kids get to see this art form only for an hour, and then to like once in 3 months or 4 months. So I learned a lot through Spick McKay that how a dancer should be interacting with the kids. And there are many interesting stories, because Spick McKay means stories. I know the volunteers of Spick McKay can relate to it beautifully. So I will just share two quick incidences. One incident was like I was performing in Rajasthan. And one of the schools, I was dancing while teaching, and that was workshop demonstrations were happening. And I saw the volunteers of Spick McKay were running. I said, what is happening while I'm performing? Why they are running? They don't usually do well. Otherwise, they always make people sit, and they just make them, keep quiet and watch the performance silently. I saw them running. After the performance, when I just walked down from the stage, and I asked them what happened, why you all were running. So they said, ma'am, actually एक बंदर आपकी चप्पल उठा के भाग गया और हम उस बंदर के पीछे भाग रहे थे. So this is what was happening behind. I was dancing. So they got me new pair of footwear, and that monkey took my chappal, one footwear, and happily he was just sitting with my footwear. So that was one of the incidences which very hilarious. And second one was I was performing. I don't remember which school was it, but there it was all male artists. I mean, male students were there, and somehow they were not paying too much attention initially when I was being introduced. But after watching my performance, they all came and started touching my feet, and they said, "We are very sorry, ma'am, that we took you very lightly. Initially, we just thought that someone has come to show us dancing, but we didn't know that, this art form is so powerful." So that was very touchy for me, that I could change their mindset entirely, you know. Earlier they were thinking that kuch mazadar, kuch Bollywood dancing hoga shayad yahan pe, kya hoga, you know, young boys, how they think. So I was really touched, and really from the bottom of my heart, I always thank Speak Make for giving me these beautiful moments, which has made me also a better artist, which has made me a better teacher, which has made me a better speaker. Because in Speak Make, we have to speak a lot and we have to make sure that whatever we say is being understood. So I'm really grateful to Speak Make and my journey with Speak Make. I mean, I look forward to many and plenty more performances with Speak Make in near future, and my association with Speak Make.
Thank you, ma'am. It was indeed a very insightful session. I think all those who students joined, they've learned so much today, and they will be having a memorable session in their minds forever after today's concert and your interaction with you. So thank you, ma'am. I'll invite the students to continue the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Janani, Lakshmi, Priya, and Ambika for informative and interesting questions that grabbed everyone. And ma'am, your answers are excellent and made the session more interactive. Thank you, ma'am. I'm here to make an announcement. You can join hands with SPICMAK by becoming a volunteer with SPICMAK and form heritage clubs in your schools and colleges. Many colleges and universities all over India have SPICMAK heritage clubs in their institutes, where faculty advisors and student coordinators take initiative.
Yeah, I think we lost
Yeah,
her voice.
I'll continue instead of her. Yes. Many colleges and universities all over India have Picnic Heritage Clubs in their institutes, where faculty, advisors, and student coordinators take initiative to preserve Indian classical and folk heritage. We encourage every education institution to focus on creating such Picnic Heritage Clubs within the academic framework of the institution, which can facilitate the Picnic associated activities, provide a platform for students to take leadership, and inspire many more students to learn from our rich heritage. Over to Srinidhi to do the word of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambika. On behalf of Dr. Kiran Seth, the founder and chairperson of Speak McKay, and the students of Krishnamal College, I take this opportunity to thank the limelight of this evening, Srimati Vidha Lal, for giving a treat to our eyes and soul. We are extremely elated for having witnessed your presence to this virtual gathering, ma'am. I also thank Speak McKay for giving us such beautiful programs and letting us know and grow our culture. It gives me immense pleasure to thank our chairperson, secretary, principal, dean, and faculty of Krishnamal College and all others who provided us a great instrumental support in making this event a successful one. I would also like to thank Jayashree ma'am, who coordinated this program in a smooth manner. I hope you all enjoyed this event as much as we enjoyed presenting it to you. Finally, I thank each and everyone for your enthusiastic participation and making this event a grand success. We're happy to welcome you all to join us for yet another Rendezvous program next Saturday, same time, same link for a Hindustani violin concert by Vidwan Pravin Shalika. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Vidha Lal ma'am, and thank you all students. All the best.
Thank you all, and thank you, Vidya ma'am. We will look forward to having your concert very soon again in the Speak
Thank you
Make.
so much. Thank you, Sabisachari. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, Speak Make.
Thank you for blessings to all the students, and we end the today's session. Thank you all for joining.